So Joe Flacco might start this Sunday against the Rams, and that's not a player that I expected to even talk about. Before we get into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let's dive in. So, folks, Joe Flacco signed with the Browns, I think about 2 weeks ago on the practice squad. And, some people made some jokes about it. I actually covered Joe Flacco last year because I was covering the Jets. And it's funny because he beat the Browns last year. He created that 14-point comeback. I think it was week 2, week 3, something like that. He completed a 14.2-minute comeback. It was pretty crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in the sport. But does he have what it takes to win this game? And will we even see him? Well, I'm going to get into it. So Joe Flacco taking first-team reps with the Browns as of today. Today's Wednesday that I'm recording this. I don't know when you'll see it, but today's Wednesday. He is ahead of PJ Walker right now, who did finish out the game against the Broncos, a blowout loss, after Dorian Thompson-Robinson, also known as DTR, went down with a concussion. So what is Flacco at this point in his career at 38 years old? Since 2020, he's played 12 games. He's started 9. He's 1-8 in those games, with ironically the only win in those 9 starts coming against the Browns in that 14.2-minute comeback. It's just funny how that works. He has 14 touchdowns in those games, 6 interceptions, a 57.5 completion percentage, 2,253 yards, and an 81.5 passer rating. So has Flacco been terrible? Not really. Those losses aren't really all on him. And I watched him with the Jets every game. And I got to tell you, there are times where you're like, okay, Joe Flacco can really still throw it. A lot of people forget. I mean, he should still be playing at a decent level, maybe even, a go-to starter, if not for his back injury. And then when he suffered, I think he tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, and LCL or something like that, where he had an offensive lineman step on him back in Baltimore. But if he doesn't suffer those injuries, I'd imagine he's still probably playing at a decent level, decent enough to be an average starter. But let's just take a look at it. 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 2,200 yards, and an 81.5 passer rating. Obviously completion percentage isn't great, but this is somebody that's not afraid to test down the field. He's savvy. He's vet savvy. He's 38 years old. He's seen a lot of defenses. He's seen a lot of different looks. He is somewhat of a statue in the pocket. That's something that you have to be aware of. If you get pressure on him up the gut with an Aaron Donald, or what we saw with Kobe Turner last week, you got Byron Young coming off the edge, you can really ruin this guy's day because he is a statue in the pocket at this point in his career. But again, I mentioned savviness. He's capable of stealing a game if he's got a defense backing him, okay? This defense is really good, like best in the league level good. I'm not saying they are, but they're top 3, I would say. The thing about this team is that they've only scored 25 points in the last 2 games combined. They're just not really doing much on the offensive side. And then eventually the defense gets worn out and you see what ends up happening. Last week with the Broncos, the way they're surging. So does Joe Flacco give him a chance to win? I guess, he's still a capable, quarterback if you give him time to throw, but he doesn't really know the offense that well. He just got there. So if he started this week, he doesn't know it that well. That would limit the offense, would make it, a little vanilla. You can't do everything you want to do. Furthermore, because of that, he hasn't played all year either. Let's keep that in mind. The guy hasn't played football all year. Okay, so this is not week 4 when Cooper Kupp came back week 5. This is not Kyren Williams coming back from a 4-game absence last week and doing what he did. Joe Flacco has not played since he was in a Jets uniform last year and I was covering the game. So that's where we're at right now, is that we don't even know what Joe Flacco would look like. It's kind of the same thing with Carson Wentz, right? He had a chance to hand off the ball at the end of last week's game, but they didn't really give him a chance to throw the ball in the game. And so, who knows? We don't know. He hasn't played yet. I think he'd be fine if he had to start, but we have no idea what would happen. It's the same thing. It's no different with Joe Flacco, who is taking first-team reps again. PJ Walker, I'm not going to say he starts, and doesn't look like he's going to start. I went on a Browns podcast, and this Browns analyst, I'll tell you right now, he was adamant, completely adamant that it would either be DTR coming back from the concussion or Joe Flacco. It does not sound like PJ Walker has a chance, but I figured I would do it justice anyway, give you some background on him. He's 1-1 this year in starts. 6 games, 2 starts with the Browns, 6 touchdowns, 16 interceptions for his career, 5-4 career record, 54.6 completion percentage, 2,135 yards. He has a 60 passer rating on his career. Walker actually played against the Rams last year, so they know what he is. It's on film. He went 10 of 16 for 60 yards in a 24-10 blowout. There was nothing there for PJ Walker. I mean, that game, he just could not get anything going. It was like he ran right into a car. You know, just this Rams defense was tough. And I think it would be tough for him this time around. Walker has mobility. My concern with him, he's got too much film out there. I don't think he's going to get that much better moving forward. So all his tendencies are out there on tape. Everyone can see it. Defenses are going to know how to adjust. I think the main issue is now there's the element of surprise with him is gone. This is somebody that's now established in the league. He's a backup. And there's just too much film out there to he's not going to catch you by surprise. I think he'd struggle against a really good defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. I already saw him do it last year. I think he'd do it again. The disguising and coverage, I think, would be a problem for him. He'd likely turn the ball over, which is something the Browns absolutely cannot do. It's something Joe Flacco will do a better job of, in my opinion, than somebody like PJ Walker. Because they want to win this game. Defense has to force turnovers, but the offense cannot be turning this ball over. They need all the help they can get, on the offensive side. But then we move over to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who was a preseason darling. He suffered a concussion, 5th rounder, and he played so well in preseason that the Browns organization decided to move on from Kellen Mond, who they thought was an interesting option, former 3rd-round pick by the Vikings. And then in addition to that, they traded away Josh Dobbs, who went to the Cardinals, who's now on the Vikings. That was before the season. Surprising trade, too. DTR has appeared in 5 games. He started 3 of them. He's 1-2 in his career. He has a 53.2 completion percentage. He has 429 passing yards, a touchdown, and 4 interceptions to go along with a 50.6 passer rating. So in reality, he's played just as bad, if not worse, than PJ Walker. I would say he's played better than PJ Walker, to be honest with you. I think the stats kind of lie there. But he's looked kind of pedestrian, just kind of like a rookie. Like when you say, oh, he's just playing like a rookie, there you go. Making rookie mistakes, being like even the things he's good at that you could see on film going back to UCLA. You could see he's a little nervous, doesn't want to play to like his strengths. He has a hard time really wanting to go out of script or anything like that, off script. And he's not going to really test deep down the field. And when you have guys like Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore, you got to get those guys involved, right? So that is one thing with DTR. Another thing I got to at least give him some respect with is that he's going out there and the play calling, I don't really know what's going on with the Browns because I watch them and I'm like, this defense is so good and the offense has a hard time throwing the ball. DTR threw 43 passes against the Steelers in a 13-10 win. That 13-10 win, that was 23 total points. Why is a rookie quarterback being asked to throw 43 times? Why are you not running the ball more? That's what I don't understand. A lot of this just happens. I've talked to Browns fans. I've seen Browns analysts talking about the same thing. They just abandon the run, and I don't know why. DTR also can run it. He's run it 12 times for 65 yards. He's fumbled twice. Big issue, in regards to PJ Walker and why he seems to have lost his job is because he has a fumbling problem. I think he's already fumbled 4 times. I think he's only played like 3 times this year. He started 2. So, I mean, he's averaging 2 fumbles a start. That's not good. DTR has fumbled twice. The good thing about DTR, if you're rooting for him, I don't know if you are. I would assume most of these people that are watching this are Rams fans. But if you are rooting for him, he's a rookie with not a lot of film on him. And he can create an interesting problem for the Rams because the Rams have played PJ Walker They know who Joe Flacco is, but you don't really know who DTR is. And was he getting better before the issue, like the injury? I don't know. Does he play? We don't know. So there's a gamesmanship level here where we could see maybe they decide to start Dorian Thompson-Robinson, kind of similar to how Joe Burrow started right before the game. He was a game time decision on Monday Night Football. We could see something like that. I would not be surprised. I think the Rams this year have kind of struggled against the mobile quarterbacks. They kept Kyler Murray in check last week, and they've done a great job against him and Geno. But for the most part, I mean, even going back to like Anthony Richardson and Jalen Hurts, they've had their way a little bit. So Josh Dobbs as well. So you got to worry a little bit about that dynamic. If DTR does play, the mobility factor is there, can keep plays available, whereas Joe Flacco cannot. But a big issue is he might not play, and if he does play, he's going to be very predictable in the fact that since I've watched him, he does not feel like a comfortable quarterback right now. He's not playing like it was preseason where he's not afraid to throw down the field or run it at any point. He's really trying to be a quarterback, but he's dumping it off. He's checking it down. And yeah, you do the little things. And that's great. Keep drives alive. But what happens when the Rams can clearly see this? You have a really intelligent defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, who can see this. You're just going to play the short pass. When you play the short pass, you're going to come up and make those tackles. And everyone that they have, they can make tackles. I mean, I know broken tackles and missed tackles were a big thing earlier in the year, but I feel like since they've really shored that up, so I like them. If it becomes a get the ball out quick type of game plan, I like the Rams to be able to hold him in check. And then DTR, again, has the mobility, but the lack of experience, especially on the road, could be a problem. This is going to be a game where, I can't see Browns fans traveling super well, but maybe they do. I don't really know. I know they don't travel as well as the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys or the Steelers. But I don't know how well the Browns fans are going to travel right now. They got a good football team. I mean, if Deshaun Watson wasn't hurt, this game would be very interesting. It still is. There's still kind of a twinge there. Like, you don't want this to be the Steeler game, right? But we don't know exactly how well the Browns fans are going to show out. And I would imagine it's not going to be that great. Okay. So this is a huge opportunity for one on the Rams side of things, Rams offensive side, Matthew Stafford getting that vocal cadence back, being able to actually use that, the hard count, getting, those offsides calls. He does that well. He's done that. But then in addition to that, the defense, it's going to be loud in there. Rookie quarterback, if he does start, not a lot of road experience, could go south pretty quickly. So we'll see. But again, Flacco hasn't started all year in the NFL. Walker has the experience, but he struggled with turnovers, and he didn't look good against the Rams last year. Very pedestrian. And DTR has the experience. He was named the starter. He got hurt, and he has the most upside. But he's also the one that could really crash and burn if it doesn't work out. So either way, I think the Rams, just basically what I'm saying, Rams have no excuse to lose this game, folks. They really don't. This is about as easy as it gets against a team that has an elite defense that you're going to see. I mean, no Nick Chubb. We don't know if Amari Cooper's going to play. I mean, his ribs are pretty banged up. Dirty hit, helmet right to the ribs. I didn't like that. But we'll see. I mean, again, if the Rams can't protect home field against Joe Flacco or PJ Walker or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, then maybe the playoffs just aren't in the cards and they're not a playoff team to begin with. I personally believe they are, and I think this could be another statement win. Everyone's talking about how 4 out of the 5 wins have been against NFC West division opponents. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's what they are. Maybe the Rams just aren't that good and they surprise us for a week or two, but I don't see that. I think this is another week where the Rams come out, they get some good offensive production against a really good defense. Kyron Williams is able to run the ball. They're not going to put 8 in the box because they have to be aware of Matthew Stafford. And so I think Stafford will be able to go deep down the field a little bit more. But if not, you have the short passing attack. And then I think on the defensive side, you're going to see a lot of pressure on no matter who is the quarterback. I think we're starting to see a better pressure-filled front moving forward, but also the secondary has been really rock solid. John Johnson, a revenge game. Jordan Fuller coming off the best game of his career. Akello Witherspoon balling out, and Darian Kendrick playing pretty well right now, as well as, Ernest in the middle. So, we'll see how it goes, but I really like the Rams in this one. As I said on the Believe in Rams show, 27-9 is my prediction. So figured I didn't know how long I wanted to make this video. I mean, this is supposed to be just an update about Joe Flacco, but I guess it's a little bit more than that. I don't know who the Rams are going to see. I think it'd be best for the Browns to not tell the Rams who they're going to see. Makes it harder to game plan. Part of me believes it's going to be Dorian Thompson-Robinson, just the way like the concussion protocol is now. Normally, you would, back in the day, you would assume a concussion meant you were going to miss a week, but now guys are coming back even on short weeks, it seems like. So I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson's going to start. If not, it'll probably be Joe Flacco. The Rams win either way, I think. I feel really confident about that, but we don't know, of course, any given Sunday, right? So hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. You can follow me at JK Bogan on all social media. I'm starting to get that TikTok rolling, so follow me on there as well. But until next time, you guys take care. Later, folks.
Start playing Pick'em or Weekly Fantasy for any sport today, Jake. Users will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 if they use promo code OTE at sign up. Start playing Pick'em and Weekly Fantasy Football today with Underdog Fantasy.
Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.